Divine greetings, masters. Very good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, everyone. This is Madhu Soni, welcoming you all to Light and Soul Meditation English Group, masters. Thank you for being here and sharing your precious time, space, and energy with each other. So, masters, today I haven't, shared any wisdom quote, but I better start with the respect, regards, and gratitude to all the masters, and then we can go into our swadhyay. So I want everyone to open their videos and let us join our hands to give our gratitude, respects, and regards to all the masters. With great respects, regards, and gratitude, we call on to our masters, guides, guardian angels. We invoke them. We are grateful and thankful for the work that they are doing for us, the service, and also help and guidance that they provide to us 24/7. We are really, really grateful to all the divine beings, ascended masters, Param Guru Mandali masters, Saptarishi Mandal masters, the Brotherhood, the White Sisterhood, the healers, teachers, mentors, coaches, and the spiritual masters. We also call upon the Siddhas, the Gurus, our great Grandmaster Pitama Brahma Rishi Patriji, Mahavatar Babaji, our archangels, angels, guardian angels, loved ones, ancestors, spirit animals, spirit guides, and masters from the elemental realms, masters from the elemental kingdom, the masters from the astral realms, connected with the Most High, the pyramid world masters, the crystal masters. We are really grateful and thankful for guiding us, supporting us, and showing us the right path. We ask and pray to each and every master to help us connect with their consciousness. The knowledge and wisdom that they got, may we also get the same. So please help and support us and guide us. And also align us with the soul plan, the soul journey, the purpose, and the incarnation that we have set for ourselves. Help us align with the highest timeline that we have set for us. Thank you so much to each and every one. We also call upon Father Universe, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, Sun, Moon, and the constellations. We invoke them and we ask them to help us during the time when we meditate and also the time when we do Swadhyaya or Sajjan Sangatya. The wisdom that we get at this time, please help us understand. And during meditation, please help us by giving us experiences through our clairvoyance, clairaudience, or all the clairs. Thank you so much, Masters. So, very glad to have you all here, Masters. Um, so, today, as you all know, we will be talking about chapter 5, Only Love is Real. And if people who are new, I see Leela ji, I don't know if you have been doing meditation. If not, just letting you know that we mostly do Anapansati meditation. And right now we are doing a Swadhyay. Basically, we are actually reading a book and basically reading the gist. So welcome, Leela ji, and to everyone. This is the book Only Love is Real, written by Dr. Brian Weiss. And it's about two soulmates uh, who reunite during this incarnation. So give me a second, 1 second. Yes, so very warm welcome, everyone, old and new. So let us start from chapter 5 today. As you all know, we were talking about Elizabeth and Pedro, and then came the story of um, Catherine, and then yesterday we read about Joanne Rivers also, right? Now today we are going to learn about Pedro. So Pedro is a Mexican man, I would say, and he is in his 29 right now. He's old enough to get married, but at this time he is going into some, like, he's actually into grief. He lost his brother sometime back, 10 months back, before he met, like after that he met Dr. Brian Weiss. So at the start of the chapter, let me share this also screen so that you can also read along with me. And here it is. So masters, here in this chapter 5, this lines or poetry or the passage has been written by Victor Hugo. He says that, and still her grief would not abate. At last she bore another child, and great. was the father's joy, and loud his cry, "A son!" That day, to thus rejoice, he was the only one. Dejected and wan, the mother lay. Her soul was numb. Then suddenly she cried with anguish, wild, her thoughts less on the new than on the absent child. My angel in his grave, and I not at his side. Speaking through the babe, now held in her embrace, she hears again the well-known voice adored. "'Tis I, but do not tell," he gazes at her face. This is by Victor Hugo. So basically, a mother has delivered a baby, and it's a son. The father is basically rejoicing, and he's very happy about it that the son had been delivered. But in the meantime, on the side, the mother is lying down, dejected, feeling dejected, and she feels that her soul has become numb because she maybe there was a twin that was born with that child. So basically, the thoughts on the new was less than the absent child. So her thoughts was on the absent child, and my angel in his grave. So maybe he died, and it is not I not at his side. The mother is not at his side. So speaking through the babe, now held in her embrace. So now the baby that is in her embrace, she is actually speaking through her, and she hears again the well-known voice adored. "'Tis I, but do not tell," he gazes at her face. So the baby is actually gazing at her face, but there might be another one who was born, but maybe it is not there anymore. Maybe it might be stillborn or something. Anyhow, that's what I make out of this passage, masters. So here, now, as you have read, Pedro is an extraordinarily handsome Mexican man. So more fair than anticipated. He has sandy brown hair, wonderful blue eyes, and most of the time it was green. So, but he is in grief because he is feeling the death of his brother. And 10 months back, basically, in a previous terrible automobile accident, his older brother, which is like 2 years older to Pedro, had died. So Pedro is a Mexican man, and there are three siblings. Okay, masters. Uh, can everyone open their videos? It helps, you know. So anyhow, masters. So they are three siblings, and the story goes that Pedro was in a lot of grief, and this grief is not only at this time when he lost his brother, but this grief comes from many generations or many incarnations of the past memories, also from the past life. So that's what the author is saying about Pedro. And now here, they are saying that Pedro is he has basically they are three siblings. So the elder one is the sister. She is 4 years older to Pedro, and then 2 years older to Pedro is this older brother who died in this terrible automobile accident in Mexico City. And so it had been now 10 months, but there had been certain times when our memories, basically, whenever we are in grief, what happens? We actually become more sad, more depressed. We actually accumulate all the other grief, and that actually makes a presence in our mind, our physical life. And what happens is, so we actually are whatever we are relaying, it is also the cumulative effect of all the grief that we incurred in this lifetime. So he says that, you know, many people suffering from acute grief had been coming to um, uh, coming to take help from Dr. Weiss, and to understand about death, and also understand about deceased loved ones. So and he's also telling, Dr. Weiss, that in the past lifetime the meeting might have occurred, but it also occurs in the spiritual states, and also between the in between lifetimes, basically when you incarnate and then you vacate the body, and then again you take the incarnation. So that time also the reunion happens. So this reunion might also take place in a mystical settings, beyond the confines of physical body. So once the body is out of body experiences, or during astral projections, astral traveling, or any kind of coma can also bring the spiritual meetings, and sometimes people think that these spiritual meetings can be very imaginary or might be real. But whenever a patient goes through a certain hypnosis or a past life regression, they vividly remember all the details. And after remembering all the details and the repressed emotions that had been there from the past lifetimes, the memories that carry all those things, sometimes we are not only, some people might think, that we are much more depressed than we look, or maybe they should not feel like that, but many people are very depressed. And some people, they can't find this, like they find this very sad, or they are not they can't justify this, why people are sad, because they might be carrying certain memories from their past lifetimes. Or suppose for a person, like in case of Pedro, his brother had died, but there is certain other things also in his memory that is making him more depressed, more, he feels he's still in grief, because after certain time, that grief also becomes less. Like after 10 months of time, the soul evolves basically, and you are basically getting used to uh, that, emptiness. Basically, now that person who was there in your lives, they are not there anymore. But after 10 months or 1 year, you calm yourself down, you get into this reality that that person has to go, and now they are not there anymore. So you start living your life. But there had been instances where Pedro was not able to get out of that grief, and still thinking like, why is he feeling like that sadness, grief. So what was that particular thing that was basically bothering him? So he wanted to recall all those things through the past life regression, and that's why he visited um, this Dr. Brian Weiss. Okay, so so this is what they have written about the first page from chapter 1. Sorry, chapter 5, page the first page. And so his sadness actually extended far beyond his brother's death. And in subsequent sessions, Dr. Brian Weiss is going to tell us how we had been separated from our loved ones, and then we meet also. And and he is basically acutely sensitized to the loss of love. So he is very sensitive to it, and very much he understands, the sudden death of his brother has reminded him the deepest unconscious um, thoughts that were there in his mind. So basically, recalling that whatever was still in his mind and memory. So remembering all those tragic moments over millennia. And slowly and slowly, when he goes into session with Dr. Brian Weiss, he will be healed. But right now, Dr. Brian Weiss is telling this story. So Brian Weiss says that in psychiatric theory, each loss we experience stirs repressed or forgotten feelings and memories of previous losses. Our grief is magnified by the cumulative grief of earlier losses. That's what I told you about. So basically, we attach everything together, and then that grief comes out by, like, when we cry or we become depressed, because we are not only being triggered by one single grief. Now that one single grief actually triggers the other grief that we lived in past lifetimes also, and that is basically having a cumulative effect on our grief or losses, and we can't understand why this is happening. But for that, sometimes when we go into past life regression therapy or hypnosis, we understand that. So here now, uh, Dr. Brian Weiss asks, tell me about something about yourself. So his childhood, family, and so Pedro is like the room had been told about how that room looked. And so Pedro sighed deeply and he sank back into the large, soft chair. He loosens his tie and unbuttons the top button of his shirt, because it becomes uncomfortable. When he was going to speak, he wanted more room. That's what this action of Pedro tells us that his body language is telling that he's not easy about it and he's not comfortable sharing, but still he loosens his tie and then he also unbuttons his top button of his shirt to speak. So Pedro also, he is basically from a very privileged family, financially and politically, both. It was high end, um, a family was there, very, I would say financially good and politically good as well. So they had status, I would say, in the political world also and financial world also. His father had a large business and factories, and they lived on top of a hill above the city, had a spectacular house, and had a gated community also. So Pedro had attended private schooling also, and his English was very good. And since the early grades, because they lived in Miami, and then he was the youngest of the three children, as I told you. They were three siblings. So the older one was the sister, and then the second one was the brother who died, and Pedro was the younger one. So, and they had lot of maids and servers, workers at home, nannies as well. And the staff used to run the house and they used to care for the children. And Pedro studied business in college. So he had several girlfriends and but never had a serious relationship. But somehow, that's what he says, that somehow my mother was never very fond of the girls he dated. So Pedro also said that she would always find some fault with like all the girls, whoever he dated, and she would make sure that he never forgets that. So this made Pedro very uncomfortable. And so doctor asked, "What is it? What happened to you? Is there something that you want to share?" And so after a lot of time, he starts sharing, um, basically, and then says that he had an affair with an older woman. And yesterday I told that she was in the university. Sorry, I was wrong. She was basically a married woman, and she was not in the university, but during when he was attending the last year of the university, she met this older woman and she was married. And so at this time Pedro paused, and then after a few moments, so Dr. Brian Weiss says, okay. And then to make him comfortable, and then he asked Dr. Brian Weiss, this is because that woman was married, so did her husband find out? So he says no, he didn't find out. But and then it got worse. Basically, the things got worse because she became pregnant. And when she became pregnant, so they had to go for abortion. So now uh, doctor asks that uh, like what happened, and then he says there is more. And so he also says that his parents never knew about this, and so he is feeling guilty, and so he puts his eyes down, and basically he is feeling ashamed and feeling guilty. And years after this abortion also, he is not okay because he is in that guilt. So Dr. Weiss says, I understand. And he wants to say something to Pedro. So he asks, can I tell you something? Can I tell you what I have learned about abortion? So here, Pedro has already, he knew Dr. Weiss's research into hypnosis and past lives. And in that, he had written this research on basically what happens when an abortion happens or miscarriage happens. So basically, it involves an agreement between the mother and the soul, who would enter the baby. Basically, there's an agreement between the mother and soul, and that would enter the baby. So either the baby's body would not be healthy enough to carry out its planned tasks in the coming life, like yesterday I told about, and then he continued, or the timing might not have been right for the purpose, or the outside situation had changed. Maybe the father is not ready to marry or not ready to live that life, or the mother plans and the baby plans to live that life as mother and children, but mother and child, but the father is not ready at that time. So that is also sometimes, this also can go for abortion, or miscarriage might happen. So Pedro says, yes, I know about this, but still, because he was from a very Catholic background, strong Catholic background. So what happens when you are in that Catholic background, masters? Many people, they actually are taught morality lessons in the Catholic classes, and what is not right, what is good, what is this and that, and like going out and marrying, going into relationship before marriage is not okay. Something, I think. So that is why it is making him more into, like, he's going into more guilt and shame. So sometimes these old beliefs can actually create havoc in our life, and we can't live our life the way the spiritual world want us to live, right? So now Dr. Weiss went back to the basics, he tells, and he also says that I will tell you only about my own research, he explained, not about what I have read or heard about from others. So this information comes from his patients who he has deeply hypnotized. So sometimes the words are theirs, and sometimes they seem to be coming from another higher source. So as you all know, when we go into channeling, or when we are basically going into the past life regression or hypnosis, sometimes when whatever we speak, it can be the higher masters who are coming, higher level masters, or masters from this higher source are coming and talking through us, or maybe we are accessing the past life, and that is being recorded, because he is a past life regression therapist, and he's a doctor hypnotist as well. What is he doing? He every day, whenever any patient comes, he is recording everything, right? So that he can help the patient. If he needs to go back and research more, or need to infer something, he can go through those tape recordings, right? So he has recorded many things, and he knows that how the patient has done, and how they are talking, why, with whom they are talking, and how the voice is coming. All those has been recorded. The emotional, physical, mental, everything, right? And the psychological as well has been. So through those findings, he knows that sometimes not only the person, but also the higher source is also coming through while these sessions. So he says that his patients tell that soul does not enter the body right away. I'm going to read this line, okay, masters, fully, so that you all understand, because this is very important. So he says that the soul does not enter the body right away. Around the time of conception, a reservation is made by the soul. So no other soul, no other else, not every other soul can enter the body, because that soul, particular soul, has reserved that body, that baby that is going to come out. So the soul who has reserved that particular baby's body can then come into and out of the body as it wishes. It is not confined. This is very similar to people in comas, he added. So Pedro nodded in understanding, and still not speaking but listening very intently. So he also says that during pregnancy, the soul is gradually more and more attached to the baby's body. So he again goes on and says, but the attachment is not complete until around the time of birth, either shortly before, during, or just afterward. So the soul is always there, but until unless, this attachment won't be complete until the time of birth. The soul won't enter the body until that baby is being delivered. So as soon as the baby is being delivered, the soul enters the body, and then the baby gasps the first time, like that. That is the time when the soul enters the body, as they say, right? Or it is there. So shortly before, during, or just afterward. So Dr. Weiss emphasizes this concept by like joining the hands at the base of his palms and forming a 90-degree angle. And then I slowly closed my hands. Like he slowly closed his hands, just like, this is a universal hand symbol for prayer, right? And this is how he showed his hand, that the gradual movement of the soul attaches to the body. So it was like that. And even when we talk about Buddha's sessions, or meditation, most of the time Buddha also keeps his hand like that, right? So it's about the physical body, and the soul is there, and then you are basically becoming one with the soul. You can never harm or kill a soul, he added, and the soul is immortal and indestructible. So it will find a way to return if that is the plan. So then Pedro asks, what do you mean by that? So he says that I have like Dr. Brian Weiss has many cases where the same soul, after miscarriage or abortion, they come back into the to the same parents in their next baby. So then Pedro says, incredible, and he became, more happy, brighter, basically, and not guilty that much, right? So after, again, all this, when they were talking, so he tells about that, after graduation, he went back home and he worked in factories and learned about business, and then came back to Miami to, work his business and to spread this business to abroad as well. And but after this, like, whatever happened with his brother, basically now, later on, he started, just working here only, not going to abroad. So but because his work is so much that it keeps him busy, so there is, like, this is a big problem for his love life. And Pedro was just telling about, that this is becoming difficult for my love life. I can't find, and I'm 29 years old, and I still need to find someone, to, like, someone I love, marry, and start a family. So, but there are, like, no prospects. So doctor asked, "Do you have any relationship with any women?" So he says yes, but nothing special. Like, he hasn't fallen in love at this time. There might be, like, he might be dating, but not falling in love, right? Or having physical relations, something like that. So anyhow, um, he says that after some time, he very soon he will be returning to Mexico and live there, because he has to take over his brother's duty. And so anyhow, and he also wondered of Pedro's girlfriend, doctor, was thinking about why his mother is criticizing Pedro's girlfriend and the experience of this affair and the abortion, and what are the psychological obstacles when he was going through in this intimate relationship. And so he thinks, okay, let us think about this later. And so he asked, how is your family in Mexico? He asked, doctor asked. So then he says that, everyone is well. My father is 70, like his father is 70 now, brother, and Pedro, basically, Pedro was going to talk about his brother, but then he stopped because now he remembers that his brother is no more. And again, he says that I have to now take over his responsibilities. And very quietly, he says, mother is also well. And but not coping well with the death. Basically, father and mother both are older, and they are not taking this death in a positive way. They cannot cope well with this. Like, who will, basically, if somebody goes from your life, definitely that there's an emptiness, right? And it's very difficult. It can be anyone from your life, and it is not okay. It's really not okay. So my personal recommendation, why I speak this is, as Madhu Soni, take time to process your emotions, masters. Don't run out, okay? Don't run from this particular emotion, because this is very much required to release that emotion. Otherwise, this will actually create an energetic block, not only in this lifetime, but for other lifetimes if you are incarnating again, okay? So think about it. Anyhow, and so doctor asks about her sister, and so she said, like, he says that yes, she's also sad, but she has her husband and children, so most of the time she's actually distracting herself, and still she has something to distract herself. She's busy, right? She's keeping herself busy. Pedro says that I am in excellent physical health, and only complaint is the intermittent pain in his neck and left shoulder. And but this problem had been present for a very long time, so it's like nothing unusual, and he has managed to live with it, with this pain. And oh, okay. And then doctor was basically, at this time, he was watching that now for the next patient or something. He's 20 minutes already late. So his internal alarm clock was usually more reliable. That's what he says. Um, because he was so much absorbed in Pedro's story that he did not realize the time. Anyhow, So here he talks about the Vietnamese Buddhist monk and philosopher Thich Nhat Hanh, who writes about enjoying a good cup of tea. So you must be completely awake in the present to enjoy the tea. For example, if you're watching a TV or something, you can't enjoy that tea, right? That tea which has been given to you. You can only enjoy if you are in the present and you really want it. So only in the awareness of the present can your hands feel the pleasant warmth of the cup. So talking about how you can savor the taste and aroma of that delicacy. And if you're ruminating about the past or worrying about the future, you will still miss the experience and you cannot enjoy that cup of tea. So anyhow, just very simple things he is talking about tea, and then he's talking about that you have to be present in your life, be in the present moment, and if you look around, the life that you want to live will be gone, so you will miss that aroma, delicacy, and the beauty of life, because life will be speeding past you. So he says that past is finished, learn from it and let it go. The future is not even here yet, so plan for it, but do not waste your time worrying about it. Worrying is worthless. Like I think 3 days ago, we have spoken about that should not worry and don't lose your time worrying on things, but use that energy to be in your present moment and not to worry about your future. But rather, working on your present can help you um, with the future timelines, right? Higher timeline. So stop ruminating, and what has happened. Basically, telling that bygones had been bygones. Now, don't worry about it. So this is where I'm gonna stop today. I hope you all got the gist of what I read in my today. Uh, as you can see, I'm very sleepy, so I'm feeling that I should just, you know, I want to sleep. But how about let's go and meditate, masters? So, anybody, somebody has anything to say, want to ask anything or share anything? Anything crossed your mind when I was reading this or sharing the details? Uh, Anyone wishes to ask anything? So I see our old teacher Sanjay Goswami ji is here. And anyone else? Srilata ji. Yeah, go ahead, please, Srilata ji.
Yeah, hello. So I wanted to share this because I have been to a person's home recently, and she had an abortion. It was, I heard the story,
Yeah.
and it was very traumatic
Mhm.
because the baby's heart was not developed. I felt very bad about it, even though it was not my kid, and I had that negative energy, and that feeling of like, why is this happening, and nobody should go through this, and all those negative thoughts were there, and I felt so sad. And for past 2 to 3 days I was like, uh
Not feel
why
good. Why we have
yeah,
to
not
do it.
not able to digest. And
Mm.
she's a close relative,
Uh-huh.
and she is
Mhm.
it's her first baby.
Uh-huh.
So
Wow.
I felt very bad about that. And
Mm.
through today's session, I was uh, made aware of the knowledge of how, like, abortions are, what are the actual reasons behind that.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it made me realize, like, what we see and hear is just a part of truth, and there is more truth to the story behind it. And this has helped me a lot of, like, getting rid of the negative emotions I have been holding for past few days. And I'm feeling better now because
Thank you so much,
of this
Srilata.
session. Yeah.
Even I am also feeling better. I'll tell you why. This is a personal story. I've never shared this with anyone. Only one time I shared a little bit of this. Um,
Mm-hmm.
this is very personal, so don't get me wrong, anyone who knows about this. There was a family in front of our house. This is real, very real. So it is related to my pregnancy, I would say. When I was basically trying for another baby, but it was not happening. So in front of my house, there lived like our neighbors used to live, and they were carrying, like they were having baby, and they also
Mm-hmm.
got pregnant. Um, they got pregnant, and then they told us that they had twins. So I'll tell you, I think I started in between, but what happened was my father expired in 2015, and I could not take this jolt basically. It was not okay for me, and I was always complaining about that. Why did you have to, like, why you have to go? Why you left me without telling me? And I could not, like, I was not feeling okay about it. And
Yeah.
I was sad, I was depressed, I was in grief. And I understood that he had to go, but it was as if I knew about that when he's going. But still, I was not okay. So that time also we were trying, and the baby was not happening. Second baby, basically. My elder one is now 17. The younger one is 7 years old, 8 years, basically, going to turn 8 years now. But the
Mm-hmm.
point was at that time, so when we were trying, and it was not happening, but the neighbor, she got pregnant with twins. Okay, she got pregnant with.
Yeah.
So when she delivered the baby, one baby was delivered easily, good in a good way, but the second did not get the nutrients or anything. It was not growing. The baby was not growing. So it was a stillborn, I would say. So it was not
Mm-hmm.
okay. So I took care of their family at that time, and also I was like helping them. And I was not okay. I was really feeling bad again. But
Yeah.
somehow I felt this, that, I don't know, but I'm going to get pregnant now. This is what the feeling came to me. And after
Mm-hmm.
some time, I got pregnant, and I understood as if the baby who went had to come to there, because that baby had to reach to me somehow. Maybe I
Mm-hmm.
was not ready at that time. Something was happening. So till 5 6 months, I was not able to tell anyone, because there was a lot of health challenges going on with me. As
Yeah.
if the baby, because it was a, I felt that the baby is a higher vibrational child, and for that higher vibrational child to come to me, I have to go through certain ascension processes. So a lot of things were happening with me at that time, and somehow I felt guilt inside me, because as if I am responsible for that stillborn baby, and they were not okay. But this is very truthful. I'm right now sharing this. Maybe it is not so and so, but why I felt this and why I got pregnant after that, because we were already trying, but it was not happening. Anyhow, today when I'm reading this, I'm also in that same boat. I'm like, I whatever I felt intuitively, it was totally right, totally correct, because that baby had to come somehow. So that soul had already made that contact with me, but it was still waiting for me. And even
Mm-hmm.
after 5 months, there were some processes that were going on in my body. Lot of challenges that time. I could not tell anyone, because I understood that maybe something might happen, or a miscarriage might go, or miscarriage might happen, or something. So I have to be very careful. So I left the job. I stopped, like um I was at home only, mostly taking time, relaxing. So it was not easy that time. When I
Yeah.
think about this and the story that I read, uh, it actually felt peaceful. I became more, that okay, this was my this what I felt intuitively, and I still know that this might have happened, but I never confirmed it. But today it is like, not today, but day before yesterday, when I read the story, it was confirmed that whatever I felt, it was right, totally right. So very intuitively, I found my answers to be. It's like a heavy weight now.
Burden, yeah,
Now,
burden lifting off. Yeah. And when we come to that realization, it's very uplifting, and we get rid of those negative emotions, and we can move forward and
so this is like,
yeah,
but thank you,
feel
Srinivas,
peaceful.
for sharing. And
Yeah. And I feel like yesterday I couldn't join, and today when I start, like I had joined later, and I
mhm,
was like, this session was for me to
mhm,
get rid of those emotions. I feel like very
mhm.
connected
Correct.
somehow. Yeah. Thank you so much for this session.
Thank you so much, Srigadaji. Really happy to have you. Where are you from? I saw, sorry, totally forgot asking
I
you.
am from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, yes, I think you
Yeah,
should.
currently I'm in India for a visit at
Um,
home. So yeah,
thank you, Srigadaji. Yes,
yeah.
Sanjay
Thank
ji,
you.
how are you? What's happening?
Good, Mataji.
Oh, sorry, unmute again. I muted you. Sorry. Yes,
Yeah,
go
good,
ahead.
Mataji. How are you doing?
See, I'm okay. I'm good.
Yeah, similar story like the earlier book we did, right? I remember that
Your soul's plan.
your soul's plan.
Yes.
In that there was a story where that baby just came in that lady's womb for like 4 months or so, and then he left. And then he used to visit every night. His
Mhm.
her younger son used to see him, and then he used to play with him. And
Yes.
then when she did regression, then she found that there was an agreement between her because he that that baby and she used they were lover actually in previous life, and he left early, and then their love did not complete. So that time he made promise that I will come back to you for a short span of time to fill that gap, fill that love, and
Yeah.
then I will live again,
Yeah.
live a
That is
short
why
time.
when I was doing this Your Source plan, I remember this is very hilarious, but really, right now I'm laughing, and most of the time I'm laughing about this because my husband, who is in this present lifetime, I saw my past life with him that he is my child, and I'm actually telling him, Alok, don't do that. But he's saying, no, I'll do this. I'll do this because in that lifetime he was not listening to me. In this lifetime also he's doing the same thing. But
Mm.
anyhow, I think there's some karmas that karmic,
Right, right.
karmic. So
It's
they have to
all
come here.
balance.
And yeah, so I understood that. See, we think so much about relations, right? That they are my husband, this is my child, this is my son, or this is my wife or sister. But just imagine, in our incarnations, whenever we take incarnations, we can be man, woman, and the person who is now husband in this lifetime. For me, he was my child back then. And even for people
Mhm.
like in my when I see my husband, I find that, he has good relations, like not, I would not say good, but I'm saying it's all good, but how to say, um, there's this word, itna attachment hai, that attachment is there with his sister or mother. I don't know why, but it is like so much attachment, very, very much. So it is not that, not, I'm not talking as a wife right now, but the equation that I'm seeing, this is what is making me that they might be right now, and in this lifetime they are a sister and brother, but maybe in the past lifetime they might be something more, because that equation, it's like so different, and it is like, I'm like, wow, really, they understand each other so well. For us,
Mhm.
in this lifetime, for me it is so difficult to understand him, or he is understanding me, right? But for others, you might all have noticed in your own way with your own relationships that there are people in our lives who can understand us well, but the people at home, they can't understand us. So this is what I inferred, seeing through so many relationships and people in my life, that sometimes we become so like, people understand us so well, some people, not everyone, right? Anyhow, so thank you, Sanjay ji, thank you. And where were you, like, you had been telling us, like, I'll come for the swadhyay, and so I think I had to send my doot to you. Right.
Oh yeah, it's all roller coaster going through. So yeah,
Yeah, I
finally I'm
want to
here.
ask you what happened, where
Glad to
were
be here.
you? So, but anyhow, happy to have you
We'll
here.
catch up.
So yeah,
Thank you.
thank you so much. So, masters, this is how it is. So, uh, think about your relationships. There might be people in your lives who will actually give you hard time, and there might be people in your life who will actually give you comfort by what they speak. Without they speak, I would say they would understand you without any words. They will help you out because they are your soulmates. So with that, masters, if we don't have any questions or anything, let us go into meditation. And Let's sit cross-legged and take our time. I'm going to share the music today and just breathe in, breathe out, and relax yourself. No guidance too much, just helping each and every one with your own breath, the guidance of your own breath. So take your position, masters. Sit cross-legged, hands clasped, fingers into fingers. Take a deep in breath and out breath. And bring your body into relaxation mode with each and every breath. So let this incoming breath enter into each and every part of your body. Let it heal you. So at this time, we are connecting with the cosmic energy, your life force energy, as well as make this intention that you are connected with the golden light, the white light. And as you inhale, this white light and the golden light enters your body, mind, and soul. This energy brings a sense of peace and happiness, bliss into your body and mind, healing you at every level, every second. So feel totally relaxed as you go through your head, your brain region, and then relaxing your facial expressions, muscles, breathing into your throat, your voice, your neck muscles, and going down into your body through your spine, your abdomen, into your waist, hips, and going down into your knees, calf muscles. So as you breathe in, feel the incoming energy of life force or the prana into your body. The time that you take in to breathe in, take the same amount of time to breathe out and relax yourself. Feel this sweet and peaceful rhythm of your own breath. Use every second to your advantage, masters. Ground your energies with Mother Earth. And now, let us bring our focus onto our third eye. Every breath coming in and going out is helping you become one with yourself. And with your breath, masters, let that separation between the in breath and out breath also becomes one. There is no separation anymore. No separation with your spirit, your body, your mind, and soul. We all become one. My dear masters, very slowly and steadily, try to return back into your body's consciousness and still take our time. Let us feel our body from head to toe, feeling each and every part, inhaling deeply and exhaling softly. My dear masters, now very slowly feel your body from head to toe. Take your time, one by one. Start feeling your toes, your feet, straightening up your spine, your neck, your head, and feeling your fingers. Give gratitude to all the meditators and all the masters. Thanks each and every one, to each and every breath that we took. Now very slowly, masters, whenever you feel ready and comfortable, please try and unclasp your hands and fingers and keep them on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And very slowly, Please open your eyes beneath your palms, masters. Whenever you feel comfortable and ready, you may let go of your palms, let go of your hands, and open your eyes with a beautiful smile. Thank you and gratitude, masters. Please hug yourself and give a tap on your back and affirm that you are love, peace, and happiness. Within you is a deep, unconditional love. And this love not only transcends your soul, but it also transcends to the higher levels, to the higher dimensions, and also all around you. Within you is love, and around you is love. We love our own self as well as others. And I'm grateful to each and everyone for joining us in at this time. Thank you so much, masters. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So, masters, thank you to each and everyone and gratitude. If anyone has any questions or any experiences to share, you can definitely ask or let me know about your experiences. Please do raise your hand. If anyone wishes, you can share, Master. Thank you so much. Thank you. Gratitude, Ashaji. So, Masters, I believe you all are deep into meditation and no discussions at this time, I believe. So if you are in deep meditation, you can stay like that. Take your own time. No rush. We'll meet tomorrow, and tomorrow Nirja ji will be continuing with the Swadhyay of chapter 6 tomorrow. Okay, masters, today it was chapter 5. Tomorrow we'll be doing chapter 6 and it will be done by Nirja ji. So we'll meet you tomorrow again. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night if you are from US, if you are from India or any other part of the world. Have a good day, masters. Take care, stay blessed and stay happy, stay vibrant. So may we all be happy, healthy, and vibrant. May we be abundant, prosperous, and blessed, peaceful, and joyful. Let us do our meditation every day with our own self as well as with the group. Also teach meditation to others, awaken others, as well as let us do our inner work on ourselves every day. Thank you so much, masters. Have a good night. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.